In today's really fast video, I'm going to show you how to make a really delicious dark chocolate whipped ganache. For our recipe, I am using 1 cup of dark chocolate, 1 cup of whipping cream, this is 35% cream, and our last ingredient, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. 3 simple ingredients, so let's get started. To start off, I want to gently melt my chocolate. I have a little stovetop element and some hot water. I'm going to get this going. I want to bring this up to a simmer. We don't want boiling, but we do want to have a little bit of steam being created to heat our bowl. I'm going to get my bowl on top, and I'm using a really good dark chocolate here. This is 72% cocoa, and what I want to do, I'm just going to add a few of these to the bottom, and I want to show you how easily this melts. So I do have a lot of questions about melting chocolate and how easily it should melt. So I'm going to get this going. As soon as the heat from our pot starts heating the bowl, we should start seeing some melting going on. So I'm just going to pause the camera for now. I'll wait about a minute and then I'll come back. So this is about a minute later. My water is starting to heat up now, and you can see that the chocolate is already melting. And if I start just moving this around, you can see how easily this chocolate melts. That's a good indicator that you're using some good quality chocolate. If your chocolate does not melt on its own like this, then that means the chocolate is probably not good for using in a chocolate ganache recipe. You want something that melts extremely well, like this. So now that I've shown you that, I'm just going to dump all the rest in. And now I'm just going to let this go. This might take about 5 minutes. You really don't want to rush melting chocolate. I'm just going to let this go really slowly, and I'll come back when it's completely melted. So this is a few minutes later, maybe 2 or 3 minutes maximum. I thought I would just come back before it's completely melted, just to show you our progress. And as it's melting, we can just give it a little bit of a stir and get more of that chocolate at the top down near the heat source at the bottom of the bowl. But you can see how nice this chocolate is melting. Oh, it smells good too. So another maybe 2 minutes or so, and that should be ready. And then we're going to add in our sugar. So let that go another 2 minutes, I'll come back. So this is a couple of minutes later, and you can see now my chocolate is completely melted. I'm going to get all of that granulated sugar and get that right in there. And I want to let that dissolve. Oh, that smells good. Now we are going to be adding cold whipping cream to this later on, but I want to let this dissolve first. So the heat of the chocolate is going to help dissolve our sugar, but then we're going to let this cool down before we add in our whipping cream. And that looks good. So just take your time. So now that I've got all of that sugar incorporated, I just want to let that sit there for a couple of minutes before I take it off our little water bath, our bain-marie. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to leave it for about maybe 3 minutes. I'll come back, and then we're going to let this cool down, and then we'll get on with our next step. So this is a couple minutes later. That looks good. I just wanted to let that heat get in there and dissolve that sugar. And that looks good. So at this point, I'm just going to remove this from our hot water bath. I'm going to let our chocolate cool down, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to whip all of this together. Now that my chocolate has cooled down to room temperature, I'm going to grab my whipping cream, and I'm just going to get all of that in there. Just get it all in. Use a little spatula. You don't want to waste any. So this is whipping cream, 35%. That's good. now I'm just going to slowly get all of this together. Now you could start using your electric mixer, but I just thought I would do a little bit of this by hand just to show you what it looks like. Now if you do find that it's not coming together really well, you can always put this back on your little water bath, your bain-marie, and just get a little bit of heat into the bowl. So that's good. Now I'm going to switch over to my electric mixer. But you can see at this point how thick this is. And that's really nice. I'm going to grab my electric mixer, and now I'm just going to start whipping this. So that's about a good minute or so of whipping. And let me just show you how nice this is. So look at this. Amazing. And I'm going to be using this whipped chocolate ganache in another video. If you want to see that video, it's going to be a very dark chocolate cake. I will put a link underneath this video in the description box, and also check up in the right hand corner if you're on a mobile device or even if you're on your computer. There's a little I, the letter I with a circle. Just touch it and it should bring up a little menu, and you will see another video where I make a very dark chocolate cake, and I'm going to be using this exact whipped chocolate ganache in that recipe. And what I think I'm going to do, I just want to zoom in a little bit because it looks like I'm pretty far out. So I just want to show you the texture of this. Now that I've zoomed in, I'm not going to move around too much because I don't want to get out of focus here. But I just want to show you how nice this is. Look at this. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. Got that there. Amazing, super rich, and so easy to make. So what I made today is my whipped chocolate ganache, and it looks very similar to a chocolate mousse. Technically, to be a chocolate mousse, we would have had to take our whipping cream, whip it first, and then fold it into our chocolate. But as you saw me do today, I put it into our chocolate before I whipped it, so it is technically not a chocolate mousse, but it's the basic same kind of texture. So a really fast and easy way to make this. If you're not comfortable with making a chocolate mousse, this is a great way to go. So that's it for this really fast video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. And if you're on Facebook, check me out. I'm at facebook.com/BakeLikeAPro. So that's it for today, and I'll see you next time.